Hi, this is Abul Hussain coming to you direct from London, the United Kingdom, and welcome to another episode of the SMMA Mastermind podcast, where we talk about how you can start or scale your digital marketing agency. Now, if you are watching this episode outside of our Facebook group, find the link above or below this video or go to smmamastermind.com. Now, with that out of the way, I have a very special guest joining me all the way from Long Island in New York. The topic of today's show is going to be quite controversial because we're going to talk about why you shouldn't hire a digital marketing agency. I know it's going to be it sounds slightly counterproductive because this show is all about starting or scaling an agency. So with that, I'd like to invite Alberto Carniel onto the show. Alberto, welcome.
Hi guys, I'm Alberto, a digital marketing consultant. As Abul introduced me, I don't want to scare clients or scare you as an agency business owner, but actually in this video, in this conversation, I think that you can find many tips or many points of improvements that you can use to scale and improve your customer service.
Mm-hmm. So for the people who are watching this, who don't know who you are, how about a little bit of an introduction?
Yes, so I'm working in digital marketing since 2015. I work for international company all over the world. I work in Russia, in the UK, in the US, and San Marino, Italy, and for actually very different markets. For example, South Africa, Middle East, Europe, of course, and so on. I work in B2B and B2C. I'm specialized in lead generation and e-commerce, so online sales, basically. And I've been working for the last, I think, 3 years as a freelancer, and I also work as an employee in a digital agency, actually. So I'm doing both right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So coming to the topic of the show, because obviously I know you write a lot of blog posts and you have various opinions in, I suppose, how businesses should interact with someone when they are looking to outsource or go out of their own business, when they're looking to grow their digital marketing efforts. So why shouldn't a business go out and hire an agency straight away?
So the main reason is the conflict of interest. So let's start on the entrepreneur point of view. So the client, not the agency. Let's start from the client. I always bring the example of investment in the financial market because I think that it's easier to understand. So when you want to invest your money, you can decide whether to go to a bank or to an independent financial advisor. Okay, and my question is, where would you like to go? To the bank or to an advisor? Of course, if you choose to go to the bank, the first consultancy is free, but if you go to an advisor, you have to pay a fee. Mm-hmm. The main difference is that the independent financial advisor acts in your own interest. So all the advice, all the suggestions and recommendations are for your best interest. Instead, the bank, you are not paying the bank, but the bank is still making money because someone is still paying the employee that is talking to you. And that is the conflict of interest. So that's why your investments maybe are not the best for you if you go to the bank. The same thing is in digital marketing. So if an entrepreneur doesn't have an internal guidance, so an internal employee expert in this case, digital marketing, and goes directly to an agency, what happens here is that the agency usually gives a free consultancy and guides the entrepreneur in their digital journey, but there is this conflict of interest because the agency is more likely to sell the services that it sells. Okay, so not the services that are best for that specific client. I'll make you an example. I'm a client and I want to build a website. maybe the agency has a team of WordPress developers, and suggest the client to build a website on WordPress, okay, or an e-commerce on Magento, because they have the developers, Magento developers. But are we sure that it is the best solution for that kind of client? And maybe the client just needed a Wix website or a Shopify e-commerce, right? No, I'm just making a silly example.
Sure,
just
I get it.
So, and this is also, I feel, a huge challenge that the agency owners have to overcome in order to improve their customer service, their service overall, which is transparency, accountability, and the sales services that actually help the client to improve. Because afterwards, if you don't pick the right choice for the best interest of the client, at a certain point in this journey, in this digital marketing journey, you will find some frictions. For example, maybe your agency is not able to reach the client's objectives because of the choices that you made during the onboarding phase. So that's why it's very important. So it's not just that the entrepreneur has to pay attention whether to hire a digital agency or a digital marketing consultant before or later, but it's also important for the agency owner to acknowledge this issue, in my opinion.
Right. Okay. So I suppose, bearing this conflict of interest in mind, surely an entrepreneur or a business owner, you know, they have no obligation to purchase. So is there any harm in kind of taking up this free consultation?
What do you mean?
Well, if I were to go to say I've run a business and I go to an agency for a free consultation, and they pitch me a solution covertly as part of the consultation, I have no obligation to actually transact with them, to do any business with them. So surely I could go to a couple of different agencies, do a couple of different consultations before making my mind up?
Yes, of course, but all of these free consultations, they all have a conflict of interest in place. So, and it requires time. So you have two. So on one side, you have the agency owners that waste a lot of time to create this free consultation, because we all know that we have, you know, the template for the onboarding, that we present our strategy, our project, and then the client goes, you know, all over asking for the same thing to other agencies. So, but also the client is wasting time. He receives a lot of voices, and why a client should believe you, or should believe another agency owner, or should believe. So for me, in my opinion, the fact that that an entrepreneur or a business introduce in their business like a freelancer or a very specialized digital marketing consultant that acts in only that company, in that business interest, for me, it saves a lot of time, and gives a specific guidance to the business. And then also the onboarding for the digital agency, I think that it is very easy, because you have a digital expert that bridges the knowledge gap between the company, the client, and the agency. So the agency speaks with this consultant, and they speak the same language. So the consultant is able to direct the agency in a specific way. So clear KPIs, clear metrics, clear objectives, and I feel that the whole process is smoother.
Right. Okay. And it's interesting. The process that you're suggesting is that a business, I suppose, works with the consultant initially before they decide how to move forward with an agency. Now, I mean, when someone is looking for such a consultant, what do they go and search for? Because what you find with a lot of businesses are that they are being pitched all the time by agencies, right? That they don't have the bandwidth or even the knowledge or the know-how to go and find someone who can actually guide them. If you look at the banking example, everyone knows what an independent financial advisor is, or a lot of people know that. You know, in the digital marketing world, how does someone know who to engage with?
Yes, but this is like a two ways problem, because you don't know what the agency picks, as well as you don't know what consultant picks. This is the same problem. It's like a credibility problem, an accountability problem, and so if we want to discuss about this, we are in marketing, basic in marketing. So if I am able to build my online presence, my credibility online, for example, with blogging, advertising, testimonials, reviews, I build, my online presence in a certain way that it attracts clients. The clients come to me directly, and there is no other solution on this. This is hard work. So agencies or consultants, they have to find their way to find clients.
But from a business owner's perspective, someone who's not in the agency world, say someone I might be running, say, for example, an e-commerce store, you know, I mean, how do I know how to look and find a client? What would I go and search for on Google or on LinkedIn? Because as a business owner, I am
results. The only answer that I can give you is a result. One of my former managers always told me, Alberto, I don't care of what you do. Just do it and bring me results. If you are bringing results, it means that you're good, you're doing good, and this is the right path. Otherwise, you have to pivot. The same thing when you onboard. If you are a client, if you are a business, and you onboard an agency or a consultant, I always suggest to start with a small project, with something very small and that you can monitor very easily with clear KPIs, key performance indicators, and so you can understand if that partner, that player, is actually bringing value into the business. So this is the only, I think, and it's only the only concrete parameter that someone can choose the partner with.
And is there a place that, you know, businesses can go and find a partner or a consultant that they can actually work with who can guide them through the, I suppose, onboarding process with an agency, or I suppose to help them build their own capacity in-house?
I mean, yes, I feel that there are many aggregators. You have, I don't know, Fiverr or marketers. There are huge aggregators for digital marketing consultants, or Upwork, for example. It's one. Or there is 𝗗𝗵𝗿 for agencies. Okay, it's also a marketplace for. But what I want to say is that, for example, if you're an agency and you are on 𝗗𝗵𝗿, all of the badges that you see, for example, best agency of North America, all those badges are purchased. And this is a huge problem that it makes me mad, because entrepreneurs trust these badges while they are just purchased, because you have $5,000 for this tier, 10,000 for this tier. And this is how it works, this market. And you have the same problem with, for example, Google reviews or reviews in general, because you can purchase them and so on. So right now, in 2018, HubSpot reviewed the inbound methodology and launched the inbound flywheel, because and this is a very important point, because the inbound flywheel is based on word of mouth. So right now, I feel that entrepreneurs, business in general, but also we as clients, if we want just to buy like objects or goods in general, we trust more our peers than aggregators or reviews or these spaces. So I feel that the inbound flywheel is the right approach for this issue, and building a reliable brand online through different marketing techniques that maybe we all know, or we will explore maybe in another video. But I think that this is the best way to to build brick by brick our castle, our reputation
Okay. And as a consultant yourself, when you're working with your clients, what does that journey look like for them? What's the first thing that you do when you kind of pick up a client who's looking to engage with an agency, and how do you kind of chart their journey, I suppose?
So the first the first thing that we do is try to understand the client needs, because we all know that at least in our world, I want to say that the clients are kind of ignorant in digital marketing. They don't know anything. And they are even not able to relate in technical terms with you. So you want to translate what they are saying, what they want to do. You have to translate it. You have to translate these concepts in numbers, in metrics, in processes and strategies. And also I think that you want to be honest with them. You want to tell them what they can achieve with a certain budget or not, if their objective is reachable or not. And one of the big biases that I've found is that, for example, as an employee for an agency, sometimes it happens that I receive clients and for which I have to manage, for example, Amazon advertising. So it's just a single piece of the business, okay? And maybe the campaigns don't go well. But on my side, maybe the campaigns are optimized. And then, and that is the problem, because that is like a little piece of the business. So what the client is doing on social media, what the client is doing on Google advertising, what the client is doing on SEO, because we know that, for example, when we run advertising, the campaigns on social media ads influence Amazon campaigns as well as Google ads influence. So everything is connected. And that's why you need to have someone in the company, within the company, that keeps everything under control, that has the business, the client ecosystem in mind. And this is very difficult to have in an agency, because we all know that an agency works with usually with a matrix model, organizational model, with a matrix organizational model. So you have the sales reps, then the project management, and project management refers to, I don't know, the ad guy, the content creator, designer, and so on, stuff like that. So it's very difficult to have the ecosystem of a company every time in check.
Mm-hmm. And
so,
yeah,
please continue.
Yeah, the clients that you tend to work with, do you recommend that they usually go with an agency or hire in-house or work with subcontractors abroad? From your experience, what kind of a mix works best?
So in general, if the company doesn't have a digital expert within their business, I always suggest to hire an independent digital marketing consultant, for all the reasons that we said before. They can hire this person also as a virtual manager. For example, I have a monthly plan that they can pay like monthly, and I will keep under control all their ecosystem and bridge the company with the agency. So I always suggest to manage the relationship starting from a digital marketing consultant, and then and I feel that I see an agency more as a tool that you have to direct, like a hammer that you have to direct. So I always, at least with my clients, I always use agencies for very specific projects with very specific KPIs that are measurable, and we can work together with these terms. On the agency owner's perspective, if we talk about how to engage, how to build the business model of an agency, the business model of an agency, as we know it, it's not scalable. We know that it's not scalable, because business owners, if you want to have more clients, it means more work, and we need to hire more employees. And so maybe one of the best models to scale an agency is to build a brand, to build a reputation of the brand, and then outsource each task, each function to different freelancers. In this way, you are super flexible, and you can scale, I think, faster in the market. And there are many brands. For example, in Italy, I was working for Your CFO Consulting Group. It's a CFO network. They built the brand Your CFO Consulting Group, and then when they receive a client, they get a virtual manager under their umbrella, under their brand, that can manage that company. So the client goes to Your CFO Consulting Group, but Your CFO Consulting Group sends this client to one of their affiliates. Do you know what I mean? And I think that the agency, if the agency moves very flexible with freelancers in this way, I feel that it can grow faster. And also, there are many skilled employees that you can find abroad in developed country by using, for example, Fiverr or aggregators like that, or you can just find them online. Of course, if you are in America like I am now, they are very cheap because they work for, I don't know, $5 per hour, $10 per hour, but they are actually great. I work with very great people. And both, like a business and an agency, can exploit their potential. Of course, they need to pick the right ones. So they need to have an expert that help them decide, who engage with.
Okay. Well, I mean, you've got quite a few very interesting views, Alberto. So we are very quickly running out of time here. So if people want to find out more about you, I know you've got a blog and I know you're quite regularly publishing content. Where can they find you online?
They can find me on albertocarniel.com, and in my channel I have a YouTube channel where I publish videos every week, and in my channel on my website, you can find it very easily on albertocarniel.com, and over there I publish ultimate guides, so really specific and in-depth articles about digital marketing, and also how you can manage a company, whether you are an agency or a normal business or another business.
Awesome. Well, on that note, Alberto Carniel, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much to you.